Welcome to another episode of Peers Over Beers, your favorite digital and social evangelist podcast, with your industry veteran hosts, Michael Sandoval and Chris Detzel. This podcast starts now. Oh, see, I'm going to do the countdown. 3, 2, 1. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Peers Over Beers. I'm one of your hosts, Michael Sandoval.
And I'm the second host, Chris Detzel.
Hello, second host. How are you doing? So I had tried very hard not to giggle at the beginning because I think of the 50-something episodes we've had, I've giggled at every single beginning. So it's just really kind of crazy. I'm here looking at my phone because I wanted to find a sound that has people clapping.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that we were talking about in our pre-show was I wanted to congratulate you on a grand opening of your new community. So maybe I just do this.
Yeah, well, hey, I appreciate it.
Clap.
The Reltio community is now live as of April 28th.
Well, you have to tell all the good folks and friends out there the URL.
It's community.reltio.com. Let's go check it out. It's pretty cool.
Awesome.
Have you looked at it yet or no?
I'm doing it right now.
Create a login. So there's two kind of experiences. One is the experience of when you see it when you're not logged in, and there's another experience see it to be logged in. So I tried to create the most engaging experiences on the community the best I could. So with the resources that I had. Does that make sense?
Yep. And is it Real R-E-A?
Reltio, R-E-L-T-I-O.
Oh,
so community.reltio.com.
Ah, perfect. It looks, wow, that's beautiful.
I know, it's the most beautiful community I've built so far.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, tell me a bit, we did not have a chance to talk last week because you were definitely still in the mists, if you will, of your community build.
Yep.
So maybe take us back a little bit on the day that you actually that was the date you had put together of the discussion. So how did it work? How did you kind of roll it out?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. I kind of look back. I remember putting tons of effort into what I call content planning. Right. So one is, how can I produce a lot of content over time that I can seed? Two is finding a way to reach out to customers and our partners that sell our product and implement our product to seed the community on their behalves. Does that make sense? And so, so every day for like 2 to 3 weeks, I want to have some content that that's being posted not by me but by customers. And certainly when I think of like blog content, so I think I created 10 or 12 blogs for the community that goes out once a week, authored by somebody from Reltio, some smart technical account manager or professional service person, somebody that just is really kind of in the weeds. And so and to step back a little bit, what is the purpose and what is the goal of the community? The high level goal is digital disruption and time to value to get to value for. So the way I kind of look at community is, one is partly case deflection. Our cases are high. Customers come in and create a case, and so that's getting an answer on community quickly and not having to create a case. So that's a little bit of the digital disruption. The other piece is coming up on Google search. When customers, partners have questions about our product, we want to be on the first page of Google. So pushing out content is kind of what I meant earlier, is the key to the digital disruption. Reltio, if you look kind of the history, is they've not invested heavily into digital, but now that's changed over the last few months on forward. Does that make sense? And so community being one avenue of kind of that digital disruption. And then the other piece is time to value. So we're looking at trying to get customers value to their product when they buy us quicker, rather than And I believe that community can help that through content and through customers helping each other and through peer-to-peer networking or and then that kind of stuff. So that's with that thinking in mind. And then what I did was, like I said, I literally, if you want to know some of the tactics that I kind of went through it, I've had to be scrappy and, just trying to make stuff happen. So, I think I found 10,000 emails along the way. um, and that was a good thing. But I also, I had to kind of, before it launched, I had to kind of sync up with marketing to make sure that community was on every single digital site. So if you go to reltio.com, you'll see community. I was very proud that, because I had a call with the team probably 2 or 3 months ago. And I said, hey, look, where are we going to put community? I need it on the first page. And they're like, well, there's nowhere to really put it. And then I gave them some examples of how others have done it. And they created this. If you go to reltio.com, they created this box that now shows all of our, like the academy, the community, the documentation portal. And they did it because I recommended it, so that was kind of cool. And the cool thing is that the teams really are working together to try to help, with the help to make the community successful. So it's really good. And then, go ahead.
No. I was trying to find the right stop point, but I don't want to keep going because I want to pull back a little bit on some of the stuff you said.
Oh, okay. So I worked with the marketing teams to one, put community on all of the digital sites, although they're only responsible for one digital site. So I had to go work with three other areas of the company to do it. So the docs.reltio.com were on the first page. The knowledge base stuff, the academy, all those are from different parts of the organization, but we're all communities there. And so you're starting to see people coming when you go do the analytics from those sites.
Yeah. So you have like a post-purchase story to tell.
Yeah. It would be interesting. I mean, as kind of those sites pick up in SEO themselves, whether it's SEM or just organic, however they decide to do it. Obviously, anybody that comes to the site is going to see community, so it's good. So that's good. And then, we had to work on email marketing, which they did that, but they just kind of did this one big bang thing. And I was very disappointed because I asked them to do more of a drip type of thing. I was like, that's not how we should have done it.
You get one email, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, let's do this out of like the next 2 months. So every week or every other week, let's send out an email to people so that, you start seeing, when people log in, they'll start posting hopefully. And then over time, when you see more activity, the better, and more people will start logging in. Anyways, so but that's where those 10,000 emails came in handy for me, is I'll just do my own drip campaign through, I know you gotta be scrappy. I gotta think a little higher level sometimes, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
I actually think at this moment it's okay. This is kind of where you need to be in the growth stage, right? You have to be resourceful and kind of out of box thinking and kind of beg and borrow and, kind of let's just kind of get this together. Because the value comes when people start to see some of the effort you put in.
Yeah.
Because it's a little abstract up front. And at this moment, as you're building it, then as that kind of starts to take up some momentum, they're like, oh, hey, I want to be on your site, Chris, or I need to, I'd love to put more of this on our campaigns because it's driving traffic, all that kind of fun stuff. Then you can pull up a little bit.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to come back a little bit at the very beginning about I think you breezed over it, but it was you were talking specifically around where the community fits in the niche of your company's overall goal. And I heard two things. One was classic product support because of high call volume.
Yep.
Very classic community kind of table stake stuff. And then you said the words, I can't remember if you said time to market or time to value.
Time to value, yeah.
which I thought was very interesting. Describe a little bit what the thought is around time to value is.
Well, look, we want our customers and our customers to get value as quickly as possible when they buy our product. And so one of the things is that, and you'll see this in a lot of product companies, is that it takes too long, for a customer to get value. When you think of the master data management space, it's highly uh, complex. Data is coming from multiple sources of the company, like tons of different sources, and trying to clean that up and match it up with other data sources within um, other business systems is it's just really hard to do. And
Hmm.
so, what Reltio wants to do is to make all those things easier, and we want customers to get value in a right when they buy, or within a few months or less, 90 days of when they buy, and that's not always the case. That makes sense because it's so complex. So
Hmm.
how do we build a product, one, that makes time to value easier? Two is when we think of how does self-support help customers get value from their products. So it's one, it's on the documentation side of, hey, this is well documented on exactly the things you need to do, to get to the API and have that code in there.
Hmm.
Or, when you think of uh, uh, knowledge base articles on the support side, or those clean cut when customers search for those types of questions. When you think of community, are there programs that allow one to for customers to engage, in user groups in the community itself in a digital way, or rewarding, recognizing, are they getting excited about our products? And if they do, one, that time to value of the content helps, but it also time to the next expansion. So another one of the goals is time to expansion. So when does the customer buy more, basically? And so I believe that community can help that through those a great engagement strategy that includes like user groups and rewards and recognition and all those kinds of things, and people helping each other and just becoming fierce advocates of Reltio.
Yeah,
That's what I gotta kind
it's
of look at.
it's interesting because uh, you can go down the product support path, which is a very known, and I hate to use the
Yep.
word trope, that came into my head, but it's a known use case. Um, I was when you said the word like time to value it, my brain went, oh, well, that is interesting.
Yep.
Because I've seen other communities do this whole idea of a whole separate section on getting started.
Yeah.
It's the whole idea of on ramping. Um, you may want to look. I'm not saying, I've seen communities do this idea of phased community. So, in other words, start here. And then once you're at this stage in your product saturation, in other words, go to this next community because they're going to help you focus on this part. And then once you've done that, then move over to this other community, right? And that kind of puts you into people who are in the same stage so you can quickly help each other through these phases. Um, and maybe that will help reduce your kind of time to value metric, right? Uh, Similar when I was at Texas, we did this. One of the things very similar, which was there was a correlation between people who would buy production silicon, right? Silicon,
Yeah.
and then how long it would take them to physically put it into a system, right? And the longer it took for someone to say we're going to use your chips to it's finally in a design, and as people in China, I hate to say that word, but it is what's happening, are putting it into a board,
Right.
can be long. The longer it is, there's an opportunity for you to get designed out,
Hmm.
right? So we wanted to shorten that design time so that there's no way someone else can come in and boot you off. So we would do things like, let's get you into some quick uh, in the community. Let's get you some quick software references. Let's get you some quick start guides on how to start designing and
Hmm.
putting your code or translating your code, or you're using another device. Let's put it over here. And once you got engineers into this element of designing, and once they purchased something called well, now you know what it is, an SDK or some sort of development board, then we knew, okay, got it, They're
I like
now
it.
down the design path. And so we would use a community to get you from, we just heard you are designing us in, let's get you a kit. And we would try to shorten that using the community time period. And there was something that was in your statement earlier that made me think about that. I was like, oh, that's interesting, because we would put them into the getting started section and then move them on.
Yeah, it's like an onboarding on to the next.
Yep.
I
Yep.
like it, and I like the idea of potentially building communities like that just through content.
Mm.
Like it's whether it's videos and things. I like it. It's a good idea.
But it's interesting because, and I'm sure that's part of how you even think about, like, even some user stories, and I'm sure this is part of your content path, because when you started describing like getting blogs and expert content,
Yeah,
to me and that's very valuable, right? It's about getting content out so Google can start, you know, getting that nice positive Google juice.
yeah,
Because that's the other area I heard. That was a third area, which was, and we've talked about this a lot, being at the moment when somebody's looking for a product
yeah.
and they're going to Google. They're not going to your Reltio. Sorry, still
Mm-hmm.
trying. First, so they're typing into Google, and you want to be that first person with the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it before. If you're not on the first page of Google, when
Yep.
somebody types in something about your product, you really do lose.
Yep.
And so yeah, and then when you look at launch, it was pretty cool because I started seeding some of that content, and I'd let the customer know that it was seeded. They would log in, and then they would start posting more things, and then other people started to kind of chime in, and so it was a little faster than I expected, and it was good. So far from that standpoint, it's really taken off.
Oh,
So
that's great. Well, I have the site up. Maybe you can walk me through a little bit. So, on the
yeah,
community.realtio.com, um, tell me how you structured out your site.
yeah. Let me log out real quick.
Well, yeah. So we can start with the word communities. I'm actually fascinated that you put a little emblem next to Reltio. It looks like people chit chatting
Yeah,
with each
it's
other.
like kind of a community. I didn't really come up with that logo, honestly.
Yeah.
It was done. It was done by the brand, because they also, if you go to docs.reltio.com and the Academy,
Uh,
um, they did something similar, right? So they just kind of. So I don't have a lot. I didn't have a lot to say in that particular design, but I know you like to kind of look at the logo and really just spend a lot of time and effort on it.
yeah.
Me, this is a community.reltio.com. It's a Reltio community, and that's, I didn't have time to really and
No, it's fine.
care. I didn't put
Sorry for the
as
noise.
much effort as we did whenever we were thinking about the grid, which was a great exercise. But the last two communities that I've ran, I'm just like, just do that. Let's get this thing going. You know what I mean? I don't need to spend 6 weeks. Remember, we spent like 6 weeks trying to figure out a design to change whenever we had the grid. And I'm like, this is bullshit. Like, everybody has. Let's just move. I know there's some importance to it, especially whenever it's a different type of branded community, like the grid. Rexel, or yeah, was it Rexel.com? It was the grid. It was his own kind of thing that we were trying to do. This is just a branded community.
Yeah.
That's really all it is.
No, totally. That totally makes sense, and I think there is value in keeping the brand Realtio.
Reltio, yeah.
You probably have some brand lift in that regard.
Yeah.
So clearly, the clear call to action is either log in or join. As I come into the site, you
Yep.
have your discussions. Kind of, we'll call it the wall, kind of below the fold.
Yeah.
As I look at it, looks like a little small vignette around. It looks like a product support course that you're showing off on the left hand far right side.
Yeah. It's just kind of, trying to partner a little bit with training to say, hey, we have a new course around reporting and analytics, and that kind of stuff. So, you try to work with the teams to kind of, because they're beg you and ask you to, hey, can you do this? Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. And
Popular discussion section as I scroll down. Very nice. I like the layout actually. It's very, very eye appealing. Nice big words. Good spacing. The events look like events.
Oh, when you scroll all the way down.
Yeah. Then there's
Yeah.
you know, nice stuff, and then you have your blog section.
Yeah.
And then we're down in the footer. Uh, Become a member. So it looks so if I just click on the community section, there's all communities and my communities. I totally get that. I think you just have one community, the Reltio Connect.
Yeah, it's really the only community that's public at the moment.
Totally makes sense.
Yeah, I'll make it simple. Keep this
Yep.
stuff simple. I don't have time to make content for like 5 communities.
That's awesome.
I just keep it simple, and you can build as you go. That's the way I see it.
Then that's good. No, that's exactly correct. It should be malleable. So you come to the community home, latest discussions. I'm sure if I log in, I can see a way for me to engage. I think this is just for.
Yep.
Correct me if I'm wrong. The way it feels is you can see answers, but if you want to engage, you need to log in.
Yeah, you have to just create a login, and it's not today. It's not SSO. It's just you can register for an account.
Yep. Very, very cool. And then, so you have a kind of your standard stuff. You get your blogs, a blog section. You have a
something you didn't see is on the left where it says kind of on discussions. You also have the events. You can blogs, and then the unanswered threads. I don't know.
Oh yeah. So what I saw first was most active, which I totally get. Then you have upcoming events, shared files. That's interesting. What is your shared files? Is that just literally content?
Yeah, it's just different files that it could be a video file through YouTube. It could be actually a video. You can upload video, anything to do with files. PDFs, PowerPoints, that kind of stuff. Or, interesting enough, what Higher Logic does is when somebody attaches a picture directly to a post, it then goes into the library or resource, and then it's seen as kind of an upload. Does that make sense?
I get it. Yeah, I totally get it. Then I see something called Identity 360 FAQs.
Yep.
Identity 360 is one of your products?
It's one of our free products. And so they wanted a place to put an FAQ section. And so when a potential customer logs into this free product and starts using it, and there's a link directly embedded into, I guess, that product, they can click on the FAQs and see them just directly from the community.
Oh, very good. Very nice.
So there's a video that I did with a guy a couple of months ago that just walks through the free product. And then, if you click on the FAQs, and then, of course, just the Q&A.
Yep.
And I built it. I don't know if it looks like shit or not, but, it's there.
Hey, that's great. No, it actually looks solid, man.
Yeah.
Then you have an event section.
Yep.
Webinars. Looks like I'm just scanning. So there's a webinar.
Yeah. As of now, it's just webinars. But the cool thing about that is that you can create. It could be on-site events. They could be, webinar events, whatever you want.
Very cool. And browse looks like it's just so you don't look. There's two ways into the community. You can do by topic as community, or you can just do posts. Is that how it is? Under browse.
Yeah. So when you go to browse, it just takes you to every one of the public posts. If you're only looking at it from a logged out view. If you're looking at it from a logged in view, whatever communities that you're a part of will show all of the communities you're a part of. So, we have an employee community that only employees can see. So you'll see employee posts and things like that. But yeah, in this case, it's just showing, so.
And then search.
And then, search.
I like your participate call out feature.
Yeah, the help. Post a blog, share.
Yeah, honestly,
I gotta get in on that.
I haven't put something like that in the elevation. I'm curious to see what the metrics look like on that over time. But as soon as I click on either one of those, it says, just log in and register.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, what's funny is the things that you have to really. So I had somebody design this. I obviously had a big say in it, and then develop it. But then whenever it turns out, you have to go through every little link, and there's way more links than you can even imagine. And so you think you have it all. I spent literally 3 or 4 days straight just clicking on everything, thinking I was clicking on everything. It was great. And then it's now public. People can come to it, and people are having issues with logging in, for example. Like, why are you having a problem? Like, register for an account. It's pretty easy. Well, it does this. And so realized there was a link that was messed up in one of the sign-ins, or the can't access your account, or whatever. Like, it's like, okay. So just it's always, but the positive is that there's not thousands of people coming to the site at the moment. You can clean it up and just make changes on the fly. That's what I do.
Yeah, no, it's well done. It looks great. It looks sharp. How do you feel?
I feel good. Look,
Yeah.
we've community has the backing of the CEO.
Yeah.
All the way from the CEO to my new boss, the chief customer officer,
Yeah.
to another new boss, the chief marketing officer. I mean, they believe in community, and so and I believe that they do. But they came from Intuit, and if you've ever been to TurboTax and looked to see how their community is, when you're inside the product, TurboTax is embedded in that product, or community is embedded into TurboTax. And I mean, you can hardly even tell it's a community. You can get answers to. I mean, it's beautifully done. That's kind of like the holy grail, in my opinion, right? Like, how do you do that stuff? But that takes time and a lot of effort. But
it does. They've been building that community for since I started mine TI years ago. 10 something years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a beautiful thing, and maybe we'll get there. But I believe that there's community is going to be very big in this organization, and there's a lot of opportunity for me, but also the organization to really move forward with a vibrant, awesome, amazing community. So I'm excited.
Well, congratulations to you, Chris. Thank you for walking us through your community. I know we went over a little bit, but I'm excited for you. Looks great. You should really do a bow.
Can't do that for too long, can you?
Yeah, no. It looks great, man. I'm very excited for you. Very proud of that. That's awesome.
Well, and I'll just say this: now the work begins. So
it is true. That's the true part. It does. But that's what we do. That's what we do. Very good stuff.
That's right.
Well, Chris, thank you so very much for another wonderful episode of Peers Over Beers. Thank you very much. I'm one of your hosts, Michael Sandoval.
And I'm Chris Stetzel.
All right. Thanks, Chris. Talk to you later.
All right. Bye.